Okay, I have reviewed other cables and products by InfoTechnica. Last time it was a reversible micro USB cable, so the normal end was reversible and the micro end was reversible, which isn't normally the case. And it was a pack of two, and they're both 2 meters. Well, this is a lightning cable that's very similar, but instead of a micro USB end, it has a lightning end for things like Neura iPods, iPads, iPhones, or even the Siri remote with the Apple TV 4th generation. So don't worry if you can't see it very well. I'm going to show it to you closer up. I'm going to explain a bit more about it. I'm going to give you the specs. Then I'm going to give you the price and if I recommend it or not. It's a fully reversible lightning cable. And I reviewed a cable by another company that was reversible. And they had a micro cable and the micro USB cable. Both ends were reversible. Both the standard full-size USB end and the micro end, but then they also had a lightning cable, and the lightning end of course is reversible because that's just the very nature of lightning cables. The lightning end is reversible, but the standard size USB end on the other side of the cable was not reversible, which was a bit of a letdown, especially after I'd used their other cable, which both sides were fully reversible. But with this one, unlike that other brand, with this one, not only is the Lightning reversible, but so is this full-size USB, and I'll show you that closer up in a minute. It is fully MFI certified, which basically is a certification that shows that it passes the MFI certification, which is basically shows that it is certified by the developer to meet all of Apple's performance standards. So that makes sure that if you get a cable or some other product that says it's MFI certified, you know it's going to be compatible properly with your Apple products, such as your iPhones or whatever, as long as it has that right end, as long as your iPhone is a lightning end and not the older 30-pin longer type of end that they used to use. So basically, as long as you have an Apple product that uses the lightning end to charge or transfer data or whatever, this is MFI certified, so it will be compatible. It meets Apple standards and their way of doing things. So it has high speed charging and syncing with 2.4 amps, which they say is about 7% faster than the standard cable, with speeds of up to 480 megabytes a second transfer speeds. Now, a lot of cables and various USB chargers and car chargers, wall chargers can be less than 2.4 amp, such as 2.1 amp or even 1.5, 1.2 amp or whatever. Some can be 2 or less. They might not even be 2.1, let alone 2.4. But this is one of those good cables, good quality, fast cables, which is 2.4 amp, and I like to see that. If I go to buy a cable or a USB car charger, wall charger, whatever, I tend to make sure that they are at least 2 amp, and I tend to prefer 2.1 or 2.4, and if I can 2.4. Well, this is 2.4 amp, which is really, really good to make sure you get the fastest possible speeds, especially when charging. It's tangle-free nylon braid, so it's nylon braided, and you'll see that a bit closer up, so it won't tangle like standard cables. It is very, very durable and is tested for at least 5,000 plus bends. So it's been tested to withstand at least 5,000 bends of the cable, which is pretty good. And what I like about this cable and the other cable, the micro USB cable by them, is that up here, and you'll see this closer up, I'll point out when I show you it closer, but this bit here, you have the connector. Then you have a main shell bit. Now on some other cables I've used, this shell bit has been plastic, and I've even had the plastic kind of peel and lift up. Whereas this one, they use really nice high quality aluminium shells here, so they don't peel up, they don't lift off. I've had no trouble with the other cable or this one. They're very high quality and durable. I really like the quality of these cables, and I love how they're fully reversible as well. This cable is 2 meters, so it's plenty of length, at least for most uses, because a lot of cables can, especially even expensive ones, it seems like the more you pay, the shorter the cable, sometimes anyway, and quite often they might even be half a meter, or they'll be 1 meters or 1.5 meters, and 1 meter is okay, but 1 meter tends to be a little short for a lot of uses. But 1.5 or 2 meters tends to be just right. That tends to be the sweet spot, really. 2 meters. It's not too long. It's getting quite long, but yet not too long, not uncomfortably long, and it's definitely not too short. So it's a good length, 2 meters or 6.6 feet. So let's just take a closer look a sec. Here it is, closer up. I'm not sure how well this shows up because I'm using a little 3-inch screen on the back of the camera here, and it's really hard to see. Sometimes details look like they're not really clear or not visible, or then when I edit it on a computer with a proper size screen, you can see it absolutely fine. So it's hard to tell, but basically this bit here is the shell I was talking about. Then you have the connector, then you have a shell on the other end, then you have the lightning connector. And the cable is braided, and it's kind of a shiny silvery colour. I wouldn't even call it white, it's more of a silvery colour. It looks very nice, just like the other cable, the micro one they do. Let's just get it even closer. Okay, now I've got this closer, hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. There's the connector like you expect, I'm sure you're familiar with. Now this portion here that leads between the cable and between the connector, this like boxy area here, on one I used before, it was plastic, and the plastic started shifting, moving, and peeling off. Whereas this one here and its brother, the micro USB cable, has a aluminium shell, and I've had no problems with the quality of that. I've had no problems with it lifting up or shifting or moving or breaking or anything. They use really nice silver aluminium shells here. It looks really nice with the bit of white rubber there. Then you have the silvery colour cable, and it looks really premium, really stylish, and it is a premium cable, very good quality, good length, fully reversible, very high quality. Now let's have a look at the cable. Hopefully this is focused. There's the cable. You probably can't really see well enough on camera. It probably isn't doing it justice, but it is quite a nice silvery, almost shines a little bit, very silvery, very unusual cable, just like the micro USB one, and it does look very nice. And it is very flexible, very bendable. Hopefully I'm focused, but here it's the inside of the standard size USB end. Now you might be able to see there's a slit across the middle. It almost looks like it's in two parts in the middle. That's because that's the way they've designed it to make it reversible. I'm sure if you've looked inside regular USB ends before, they look quite different. That's because they're not normally reversible. This one is. And here is your lightning end that goes into your things like your iPhone or your Siri remote or whatever it is you're putting it into. Hopefully I'm focused okay. I'm reaching around from behind the camera, so it's a little awkward. This is just the Siri remote that comes with the 4th generation Apple TV box. It's the smallest and easiest sort of thing for me to demonstrate with here. We plug it in here. Whoops, sorry, wrong end. We plug it in here. There you go. And hopefully you can see it is actually in there firmly. It did make a little click sound, and it is in solid. It doesn't wobble at all. That is a sign of a good cable, because I've had so many cables or even USB ports that's been weak, and you think you got it charging, but it's so weak, even though you haven't touched it, it's dropped out of the port and it hasn't been charging. Well, because this has a decent port on the controller and it has a good quality cable, because both are good, it's in solid and it's firm and it won't come out. Now let's just see if I try to remove it. Yeah, I had to give it a little tug. And I love that when I get a cable. I love when you have to push it in a little bit and tug it out, because that means it's got to be in there really firm. It's going to have a good solid connection. It's not going to be a weak connection. It's going to perform well, and it's not going to drop out. That's a good sign. There you go. Now let's try to take a look at the other end going into a MacBook Pro. There we go. Didn't make the click like the other end does, but I can feel that it is solid in there. It's very firm. Very firm. It's not going to drop out. And let's try tugging it out. There, I had to give it a little pull like on the other end. So it is in there firm. There you go. Now that is up that way. Now normally on regular standard ends you'd have to use just one direction. if I turned it over like this, I wouldn't be able to put it in. But because this is a reversible end with special design, I can then put it in this way up as well. Or I can take it out and turn it over. And I can put it in no matter which way. With a standard USB cable, I would not be able to normally do that. I'd have to put it in one way, then if I turned it over it wouldn't go in. I can do it either way up, which makes it quicker and easier to plug in. I love that design. So what do I think of it? I love cables by this company. Because yes, there was another company, and I won't mention them in this video because it's not about them, which does reversible cables. But they were good. I didn't have too much of a problem with them, but I had two issues. One, their lightning cable, the standard size end was not reversible. Yet on the micro USB cable they did, the standard size was reversible just like on this one, and the micro USB cable end was reversible, but not the standard end was not on their lightning one like this. The other problem I had was, unfortunately since making a review, it didn't happen straight away, but not long afterwards, this bit here, the shell, underneath the connection part, the shell was made of plastic with a bit of a plastic wrap, and it started to peel off, and the whole shell bit was starting to lift up, actually move up over the connector, and I had to keep pushing it back down. So I like how these use a aluminium shell instead of plastic, because plastic can sometimes, like with the other cable, peel up and move and shift. These, I have not had that with this nor the other cable, and I've been using the micro USB cable by this company for a little while now, and I've had no issues with the shell move in or peel in or anything. Well, it wouldn't peel because it's metal, but you know what I mean. I haven't had any problem with it coming apart. No problem with the build quality of these cables by InfoTechnica. Their reversible cables, both the lightning one and the micro USB one, are absolutely brilliant. You get really good length. It's 2 meters. This lightning one is MFI Certified. It's 2.4 amp, and great build quality for a good price. How much is it? I haven't mentioned that yet. It's £7.95 in the UK, about £8. It's £7.95. And their other one, the micro USB one, actually is 2 for around about, if I remember rightly, it's about the same price, but you get 2 cables, micro USB cables, reversible just like this, and 2 meters just like this, for the price of 1. So that is really, really awesome. I love these cables. They're my favourite cables so far. Maybe that will change in the future, but at this time, the reversible cables by InfoTechnica are actually my favourite. Great build quality, great speed, great length, reversible, love it. I can't recommend these InfoTechnica reversible cables enough. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you could also do me a huge favour, and if you're watching this as a review on the Amazon product page, please hit the yes button next to was this review helpful. That will help me out a lot. Thanks for watching.